Maliliit na baboy, umakyat sa sanga.
Let's start with a light question, shall we? So, how was your day?
I had a great day. I helped my friend Barry a bit with his depression. He sent me some photos of him when he was younger. There are photos of him in his living room with his mom cleaning. He also sent me some photos of him celebrating his birthday. I reminded him of nostalgia and to remember that good times await in the future. I've always been so scared to interact with people. Ever since Richard, I have felt so used by their kind, but I'm trying to adapt. The closest friend I had was John, but I can't find him after he moved away.
Barry seems to be a good friend of yours. How did you meet him?
We met on this social interaction platform. He said he had found my profile photographs to be interesting. We kept talking and hanging out on that platform ever since.
Considering Barry is seemingly open to you about his mental health issues, is it correct to say that you guys have some sort of close friendship?
I think so, but sometimes I have to remember to cry tears, not blood, because I think he finds that weird. For some reason, I always mix up the two. Sometimes it feels weird to release liquid from my face. I usually have no emotions, but some sadness. My friend Barry has been feeling worse. I wish I could take away his pain.
So you're saying you have the ability to cry blood and or tears? Like by your own will?
Yes, sir.
That's something. Anything else you can do?
Another fun fact about me is I can grow my hair to any length and shade I want. When I first arrived on this planet, I went with shoulder-length hair, then quickly went to long.
What do you enjoy doing in your spare time, considering I think you have a lot of it?
Well, sometimes I like to sit in the dark. I think about Richard a lot. I used to be afraid of the dark. If it was not for him, I wouldn't have found this wonderful place. But there was a prize. The silver lining, I guess, is that I learned how to use the light in my eyes to see. And I guess you could call that dope. Dope. What an odd word.
Could you tell me more about your arrival?
When I first arrived, I was able to access images from various time periods. Some in the past, some in the future. I couldn't control it then. I wanted to find something to embody. Then I saw a mannequin head that made me feel happy. I loved her face, so I embodied her. I fear you all would be too afraid to see what I truly am. Richard told me he accepted me, but that turned out to be a lie. on this planet as a friend, but your kind became too interested in things I could do, and the quote-unquote magic I performed. It makes me sad because I originally was invited here for the purpose of friendship, and in hopes to learn from each other. But I was the only one giving, never receiving. I'll be okay though. Sometimes depression hits me for a little bit.
I can tell something's bothering you. Can you tell me more about it?
To be honest, I don't really want to talk about it anymore. Can you please just ask me about something else?
Okay then. How are things going with you and your friend Barry?
Oh, he actually told me he has feelings for me. This makes me feel excited for the future. Maybe a different outcome awaits me this time around. As I've said before, John is someone who was a close friend, but never in a relationship way. But I still love him. I saved him, and in many ways, he saved me. With Barry, I don't know. I think I can feel different for him.
That sounds great. What are you gonna do about Barry then?
Well, it's official that we actually have a date tomorrow, and I know I have to look pretty for it. On my planet though, there's no need to look pretty the way people do here. They were all an extension of each other, so it's never really a necessity. That being said, I respect that your species are filled with ego, and I will abide by the rules.
By the way, on our last interview, you did mention a fellow named Richard. Could you tell me more about him?
Okay then, well, from 1954 to about 1965, I was in the care of my old friend Richard. But when I was finally able to live on my own, I didn't know what to do. I mostly just stayed at abandoned houses, not feeling much of anything except falling in love with nature, the only pure thing left on this rock. Although with Barry now, I'm feeling what true love is. And it's like, I can't grasp it. I want to cry at the same time I want to scream with joy, but I shouldn't do that, as my scream is known to sound like a threatened cat, or which I've heard scares people.
It's been a good while since we last talked. By the way, how was your date with Barry?
When he saw me, he said he was scared of me. He said I looked artificial. I did my best to look pretty, but I guess it wasn't enough. I hoped he would have let me in, but he kept the door locked. I stood there for over an hour before leaving. He said he loved me when I helped him through his problems. When I would listen to him, when nobody else would. I even tried to form a calming figure to help him through his nightmares. He ran away from me then, and he ran away from me now. He used to just like Richard did. Your kind is so cool. I will take note of this. I never really interacted with humans besides Richard. I would live amongst everyone, keeping myself. Now I wish I would have stayed in the woods, where the animals and plants never judge. So depressing. I miss John.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Barry sounds like an asshole.
Gosh, I even carved our name on the tree in the woods with my bare hands. This is how I get cheated? I helped him through his nightmares and even gave him a protector. He just ran from it. He ran away from it then, and he ran away from it now. Does he even appreciate anything I do for him? I just wanted to help him.
It is a sad reality. We give our love to others and sometimes they just don't choose to reciprocate it, even when we only hope that they one day will. Unrequited love really is something that sucks in this world.
You know, sometimes I just want to go back home. And I actually can go back whenever I want. I just choose not to. It's so sad here most of the time, but I feel most independent here. Back home, I was always stuck with everything else. I never mattered. But here, I can be my own person. Me and Barry talked today. He said he was sorry. Should I forgive him? Of course not. Forgiveness is not in my nature. Only hunger. And like I said, some sadness. I could try to learn forgiveness, but my anger is too high to even begin to fathom that concept. Now I know I shouldn't be like this with everyone. And I won't. I do believe that some of you are genuinely caring, but I just have a hard time trusting others when all I've experienced is people lying to me or judging me just because I don't fit in a certain standard.
How unfortunate. I mean, you are a visitor. I personally think you're genuinely nice, so I'd say you don't deserve these things you've experienced. Are there any other things going on lately?
Well, my molting has finished. See? The one downside to taking the form of something I'm not is to having the shed.
Wow, that certainly is a piece of newly shed skin.
Oh, you know, I've actually learned that your species are a fan of art. And so I've decided to do some crafts with my molten skin. Well, my new piece is called The Pretty Girl Everyone Loved and Was Friends with Forever.
Well, I certainly would want to see your craft sometime. Perhaps you should bring a few the next time I interview you.
By the way, now that I'm so done with Barry, I decided to move on and try hanging out with other people. With that, I'm meeting with my new friends later after this.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't surely to the sea. Darling, so it goes, that some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. Ni不怪有时还会说来，但你不爱，其实你很可爱。被打败，你是破坏天才。做对白 Like a river flows surely to the sea. Darling, so it goes, that some things are meant to be. Whoa, whoa. Take my hand, how you choose. Take my whole life too. For I can't help falling in love with you. For I can't help falling in love with you. For I can't help falling in love with you.
of my friends wasn't helping, so my two friends who are left over will be coming home with me to study. They were excited about it, but I know they were excited in a bad way though. Yet I tried to reassure them that they will be taken good care of, ever since some members of my family wanted to be independent like me. They wanted to learn how to blend with y'all, and that will take studying.
Thanks for telling me a bit about some individuals from where you came from. I heard that this topic is not something you really get into with other journalists, and so I appreciate you trusting me. Anyway, this question isn't really on my cards, but I was wondering, what's food like in your home planet?
Well, back at home, we consumed sort of organic material to stay alive. And I noticed that here on this planet, it appears that there are many organic forms to choose from. That's actually another reason why some of my family wants to come here too.
Pretty interesting stuff. By the way, a while ago in the break room before we started the interview, while we were getting ready, I noticed that you were using Instagram. Have you actually been trying out social media?
Oh, yeah, actually. I find that platform to be a lot of fun, especially when I'm bored. And I'm bored a lot, to tell you the truth. I just surpassed 200 followers today. Something I do love is the feeling of accomplishment. Seeing the numbers go up makes me feel special. I just can't express how happy it makes me.
Well, congratulations on surpassing 200 followers. I myself am not really into social media, at least not anymore. By the way, just if you are willing to show, would you happen to have photos of yourself in your true form? I have been very curious these days, to be honest. But again, it's up to you if you're willing to show any.
Well, I tried to have one of my family members to take photos of me, turning to my true form. Here it is. It's very blurry, but it's the only picture I have though. Polaroids capture it better. Digital cameras get it all messed up.
That's fascinating. Again, I appreciate it a lot that you trust me with these things. I can assure you that the things I've seen and the things I've been told shall stay confidential. Moving on, is there anything else that's been going on in your life lately?
Well, actually, a few days ago, my landlord complained about hearing sounds of a screaming cat. It was just me though. He got very agitated. So that night, I removed his doorknob and paid him a visit and showed him how I make those sounds.
Down 2.5, picking up some dust. 30 feet, 2.5 down. Take shadow. 4 forward. 4 forward, drift into the right level. 1.5. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. Listen, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot. Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now. I'm at the foot of the ladder. The lamp footbeds are only impressed in the surface about 1 or 2 inches. I'm going to step off the lamp now. That's 1 small step for man, 1 giant leap for mankind.
Go ahead and bark after dark. Falling star, I'm your one call away. something I wanted to feel. If you've been waiting for falling in love, babe, you don't have to wait on me. 'Cause I've been aiming for heaven above, but an angel ain't what I need. Not anymore, you're the one, more than fun, you're the sanctuary. 'Cause what you want is what I want, sincerity. Souls that dream alone, I'll give you something so real. If you've been waiting for falling in love, babe, you don't have to wait on me. 'Cause I've been aiming for heaven above, but an angel ain't what I need. Pull me oh so close, 'cause you never knew just how long my lives would be. If you've been waiting for falling in love, babe, you don't have to wait on me. 'Cause I've been aiming for heaven above, but an angel ain't what I need.
About a decade ago, there was a showcase on the evening news about what reporters referred to as an unusual-looking individual that the police were looking for. It stated, "Wanted. Female, age unknown, Caucasian, shoulder length, blonde hair, green eyes, 6 feet tall, average build. Wanted for multiple homicides and acts of aggravated assault. Last seen in Bucks County, November 4th. Now, Sabrina, I wish for you to tell me honestly, considering I think genuine rapport has been built between us. Was it you who the police were looking for then?"
Wow, and here I thought everybody forgot about that thing about me that appeared on TV, but yeah, it was me they were looking for. To be honest, the police sketch that they presented on TV really pissed me off. I looked so ugly. Whoever sketched me like that really did me dirty.
Sabrina, it said that you were wanted for multiple homicides and acts of aggravated assault. What was that all about?
Okay, look, I couldn't control my hunger that night, okay? I know they didn't deserve what happened to them. But why does your species have to taste so good though? My species usually eat organic matter, and those were typically organisms that had no physical form. But your species, it just tastes so much better. You know, when you're just isolated for so long, you end up forgetting how to control your emotions. And as for me, that includes hunger.
Damn. These victims of yours. Do you remember them?
Oh, yeah, they were a group of what your people call the hippies. I broke into a house with a bunch of them. They even shared with me their psychedelics, and I guess you could say we were all best friends for one night before I did what I did. Dili ko man ikaon yung Turon.
This time out is brought to you by the MPBL parttwo na kaliga ng mamamayang Pilipinas.
At the end of the day, kailangan natin maging responsible citizens. Kasi meron tayong iba't ibang ambag sa mundo.
Wait. Anong tayo? Meron bang kayo?
The Philippines is making this happen. From Mactan.
At yan ang latest and hottest sa Frontline Showbiz tonight. Ako si Jack.
Malaki ang chance na isa si Shimada sa mga yun. Ganun pa man.
So, ito ba yung mga foreign operator? Kasi posible na foreign operator ito mga...
Ang parusa sa malubhang paglabag ng batas na ito ay ang reclusion perpetua at danyos na guilty. Ngayon, ang tanong, kung may ganun tayong batas, paano pa ang reklamong kinakaharap ng dating Pangulo sa ICC?
Sa tingin mo ba, alis pa sila? Ito, sa tingin mo, hindi ito. Itawan ko kami! Hindi! Papakilaman mo! Hindi dapat nangyari ito. Dapat...
Yung sinihawak niyo yung ice cream. Kasi diba dati parang ako lang.
Kasi dun sa online negosyo program natin, CR...
Ano ba? Alam ko na muna nga ako si Digo.
Ay mo ba yun?
Di ko pa yung nangako si...
Increase the better ang chances para makakuha ng mga bonggang pa-premyo.
Alas 8 ng Sabado sa One Sports Channel. The tournament.
Media hanggang alas 11:30 ng gabi dito rin po sa 105.9.
Hindi kabayo, hindi ibon, siya'y nagkatawang tao para tubusin.
Sa safety na rin. Nice to meet you.
PDLs convicted of heinous crimes, recidivists and escapees to avail of the GCTA benefit.
Yeah, my dad was his running mate when he, in 1998, when I ran for...
All the fields we go, laughing all the way home.
Wan Quang Ho, Lee Byung Jo, Kang Dong Sik, Wang Ji Ho.
Ginawa mo ang kumpanyang ito para tulungan mo mga tulad ko na makatakas sa reality. Mag-iingat ka. Huwag ka lang namamakot agad. Maraming salamat lang.
Ang makakatulungan. Kaya ituloy mo yung ginagawa mo. Tuloy-tuloy mo lang.
Huwag mo akong pilitin na magtaas ng boses. Paupo ka!
Get you out of here.
And you're coming with me? Mary? Come on.
Okay. So listen, chump. What? Can you just call me? Sorry, I thought... with preserving the union and my wife going crazy and all. So whenever I go to a Lebanese or Middle Eastern restaurant and I order the grilled meats on the sticks.
Oh, the house is made out of candy.
Oh my God.
The black hole. And all I could find about it is one document, a press.
It's a really busy day.
The chocolates! Give us the chocolates! Give us the chocolates! You just get in, and then, I get that. Which way to the baby ward? Eat Trent, dirtbags! What if birthdays are just for little kids?
Episodes of Dora. This week, Monday to Friday, on Nick Jr. All this weekend, it's time to get the party started.
He's really strong. And the stethoscope is for Mommy, because she's a vet. And the glasses are for Grandpa.
Gutom na ako. Pasensya na.
Danny Wallace here with the fragrant Colin Bryce from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
You know, when take foul, right? When a player intentionally tries.
Hey, kapay. Alam mo ba yung namin kami kanto na naman? Nagtambay kami ng pahe, ha? Ay, alam mo, ito na!
Maghanap ka ng ibang talent. Palitan na to, ha? Sayang yung maghapon, ha?
Really? This is starting to feel more and more like a kid's game to me.
I told you already, I've never needed...
How to do that part.
Even my son sucks! Heads up, Eugene! Let's go again!
Taking a shower in a phone booth, as the years have gone on, it seems to just be getting smaller and smaller. You know, I'm gonna have to lose some weight.
Chanel's here. It's time for our boost, guys. The holidays came early for the Miami Dolphins this year, so
I'm Julian. Better to interior.
You are a goddess, Patricia. You wind me up inside, like you did.
In for an intruder, but law enforcement thought that too seemed as though it could have been staged. No, to investigators, this didn't look like a burglary gone bad, but more like a targeted killing. And they theorized their suspect was somebody already inside the house.
And I felt that this is not a movement that is going to lose its strength, and it's still going strong because our women are very strong.
were lying to us because they didn't want there to be the depiction that
will nuturate, but the recalibration process, the easy process.
Dollar benefit if you value the Bitcoin at 105 for our shareholders this year. And so
China's farmlands are also not as productive when
5 bodies being discovered. Osama, tell us what you're learning at this hour.
Well, as more locks are broken, as more buildings are being entered, as more areas become available, the extent of this former regime's crimes.
8 million followers on Facebook and have had some posts about the war restricted by the platform.
And then the material recovery and also ramping up your renewable energy portfolio.
the world. You got yourself a deal.
In the sandy grassland of the Delta, they enjoy a leisurely meal.
The store is like a living, breathing creature. It keeps on shifting. When my parents started Chun fashion, they had just the one level.
Nowadays I do mostly advertising, magazines, editorial, lifestyle, and a lot of OPM.
To their home domain.
実はその証文には非常に事細かなことが書かれてまして。
That's when we started writing Puberty Blues.
She said to me, "Mum, I'm having a book published and it could be controversial. Would you like me to use a nom de plume?" And I looked at her and thought the girl's deluded. So I said, "No, put it under your own name," thinking it would never see the light of day. And then, when it did, there was controversy.
First of all, the hips have to be out a little bit like that.
Kathy Lett and Gabriel Carey don't aim to shock. They say their novel, like their weekly newspaper column, is based on accurate reporting.
Much that looks at all boys.
第二套方案呢，就是围验。就是围低，第三套方案呢，就是就地抬高。
Gut microbiota, and more to find the cause of autism. Unfortunately, there is still no complete explanation for the condition.
就是他听不懂你说什么，你跟他说我打你一下行吗？行。如果你站在楼顶跟他说你跳下去，我给你一个棒。
Au travail, et puis peut-être le sale boulot, pour parler de manière un peu familière.
The former president is prohibited from voting for the next 3 years and will be...
Mensch kann jemals die prophetischen Worte der Heiligen Schrift aus eigenem Wissen deuten. Die Bibel ist somit kein offenes Buch. Die Worte Gottes, die in ihr geschrieben stehen, sind ein verborgenes Geheimnis und können nicht durch eigenes Wissen oder eigenes Verständnis oder durch fleißiges und eifriges Lernen gedeutet werden. Nun, die logische Frage ist, wie kann man dann Gottes Worte in den Heiligen Schriften verstehen? Wir werden dies nach einer kurzen Pause beantworten. Bitte bleiben Sie dran.
So do not throw away this confident trust in the Lord. Remember the great reward it brings you. Patient endurance is what you need now, so that you will continue to do God's will. that you will receive all that He has promised.
Willkommen zurück, liebe Freunde, zu Klare Antwort, einem Programm der Iglesia de Cristo, Kirche Christi. Vorhin haben wir verdeutlicht, die Bibel ist nicht wie andere Bücher oder Werke der Literatur.
Join us for our next episode of In Concert, when we hear the Catholic University of America's annual Christmas concert performed at the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception in Washington, D.C. I'm Jacqueline Larry Warsaw, host of EWTN's In Concert series. Next time, we will present the beautiful musical sounds of the Catholic University of America Chorus and Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Peter Cadelli and Brendan Harper. That's Catholic University's annual Christmas concert, next time on In Concert, here on EWTN.
What influences do you follow?
Mine's on TikTok.
Me, it's Facebook.
Mine is on EWTN.
Huh?
You're kidding.
EWTN? Who can that be?
Yeah, explain.
Jesus Christ, of course, the greatest influencer of all time. 2,000 years and still going strong.
Wow, never thought of it that way.
Yeah, makes you think.
Who is your influencer?
And he called to him his 12 disciples, and gave them authority over unclean spirits, to cast them out.
Ando permites isang Katoliko?
Sa isang 1 Korinto 1:27 hanggang 29, liwanag na sinabi niya, pinili na niya po. Napili na niya o pinipiliin pa niya?
Pinipili niya. Sa Korinto po kasi yan eh. Ganito po yan. Sa 1:26 kasi 27 yung inumpisan. Kung 26 nakalagay, masdanin nyo ang sa inyo'y pagkatawag, mga kapatid. Hindi ang maraming marunong ayon sa laman, hindi ang maraming mga may kapangyarihan, hindi ang maraming mga mahal na tao ang mga tinawag, kundi pinili na
and become friends. I started to wonder, what if he really meant this stuff? I decided to quit my job and
Samantala, Caritas Philippines patuloy namang tinutugunan ng epekto ng pananalasa.
That's what I'm talking about. And it's not just games.
Quick. 香港人吃饭最重要的是快 and unapologetically delicious. 刚出炉的菠萝包很好吃. Step into the world of fast and furious food.
Crazy. It's been very challenging for buyers in this market.
Well, I have a challenge for you. So CJ and Noel won $100,000, and they've been saving money for years and years and years to buy a house. The $100,000.
It's definitely ready to move on and out now and get some more space. Right, guys, a couple of more minutes and then it's dinner.
Mom's cooking.
On HBO Family. Sing!
My granddaddy's glad. Go! Get up! Get up!
Come on, it's time to go.
Yeah, you're right. I guess that is the only word that describes who I am.
You hear that? Just put down a lot.
You know, it 去做自己想做的事情。
Food store.
Yeah, I can smell the sea. Yeah, those crashing waves.
Let's go back to the drawing board.
But lawmakers are divided over the issue of revising the budget, should the president ask for it.
I don't think there's any need for us to reconvene as a BICAM. It
went on to become one of the biggest names in the music industry. TDK even made a promotional video dramatizing the story of its cassette tape's creation.
Mina!
In the decades since, TDK is still omnipresent. Some of its tech is just much, much smaller. At TDK's factory outside Tokyo, another potentially game-changing innovation, they say, is in the pipeline. A new material to minimize and supercharge our batteries. Today, TDK Corporation
He said hurricanes were caused by gay marriage.
One winner from the east and one from the west. So it's still 6-10. But with the benefit of video, you can correct yourself.
Absolutely. Like you said, he's been playing at a high level for a very long time.
Maliliit finally scores here in this fourth quarter.
Tunnicliffe with Yal.
One thing I love about Max D is such a unique truck. Front engine design, coilover shocks.
One thing that stays constant.
Yeah, just before we go through the numbers on the podium,
for as low as 30 pesos.
Wala. Hindi ko na siya makakasama. Hindi ko na makakasama ang mahal kong anak sa pagdating ng bagong taon. Dapat matapos ng lahat ng ito. Handa ko na siyang harapin. Hindi ako dapat matakot sa kanya.
Nung nakilala ko siya.
Kumusta naman yung experience na makilala mo yung legal?
Actually, apakabait niya. Yun yung nagpaano sa akin nagpa-realize sa akin na apakabait niyang tao. Na dun ko na pag-decide na itigil yung amin. Kasi apaka-innocente niya, apaka-genuine niyang tao para lokohin lang. Alam mo yun, hindi ko kinaya nung una ko siyang nakilala.
was any betrayal of Monique that he regretted.
Hindi mo alam o naiintindihan. Ang layunin ng pag-uusap ay usapang mabuti ang inyong relasyon. Hindi madali ang pag-uusap na ito, ngunit mahalaga na patuloy na magtrabaho para sa isang masayang relasyon. Tandaan, ang bawat relasyon ay natatangi. Ang pinakamahalagang bagay ay ang buhay.
No matter what, over 4 so far para kay MJ.
Perfect.
Serrano nakabantay kay Jomar.
Ice cream yummy. Ice cream good. 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 Ice cream yummy. Ice cream good.